I don't mean to alarm you guys, but I'm seeing gigantic rolling credits. Greek mythology, very much simplified. We're not going to go into this enormous amount of detail. I just pulled this chart from Wikipedia. But we're going to keep it very simple. Thanks to this Greek mythology simplified, I found on the old World Wide Web, and I've adapted it from Paul V. Hartman. And I'll read it through because I'll show slides at various places to introduce people and names association with the faces. So the wonderful world of Greek mythos. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far... Oh, that's a different mythos. Once upon a time. The original deity in Greek mythology was the mother goddess or earth goddess of Gaia or Gaia. Gaia's firstborn was Uranus, and yes, my friends, it has always been pronounced Uranus. Not sure when the name was altered in today's society, but it is Uranus. Try it out. Say it out loud. Uranus. He was god of the heavens. The combination of an earth god and a sky god is a common element in early Indo-European countries and many others. Now, there's no such country as Indo-Europe. This is the Indo-European region that was referenced. Uranus and Gaia combined to produce the race of the Titans, 6 males, 6 females, the race of the Cyclops. Many people think of the giant Cyclops with the one eye. Cronus, chief of the Titans, killed his father Uranus, whose dripping blood formed the Furies, the giants, and a young goddess, Aphrodite. And you might recognize her son right there, Eros, what has become modern-day Cupid. Cronus mated with his sister Rhea. Now flash back to 2 lifetimes or 2 schools ago. I taught at Box Elder High School, and there'd be some rumblings in the classroom in my having read that Cronus mated with sister Rhea. And I'd have to take some time and discuss how very similar culture origin stories have these types of situations. And there was still some balking and kickback and mumbling. And then fast forward to a musical that this same school put on called Children of Eden, where the very same thing is played out, and there's no kickback, there's no grumbling, and in fact there's all kinds of applause for this scenario here, where you have the person playing the father. This is Steve Thornton. He's playing the father, or God, and introduces his first two children to one another. Adam, played by Kyle Saunders, and Eve, played by Ashley Tolman. And a little funny thing here, side note, related to astronomy. The cast list had come out, and there was some laughing in the back of my astronomy classroom, and we always like to share the joy and the laughter. And I asked, what's so funny? And they said, we just realized that the people cast to play Adam, Eve, and the Father, God, are in this class together. And so I decided that I'm the teacher of God then. It was a pretty fun time. And there was a lot of cast members in there, so it was kind of our Garden of Eden astronomy class with a lot of the people from the Children of Eden cast in the play. But again, let's fast forward through this play, this musical rather, where we have Cain and Abel all of a sudden enter. And they played their sibling rivalry to such accuracy because they were indeed siblings. This is Campbell Parson and Wilson Parson. Then fast forward, opening of Act 2, and you have all of this wonderful begatting that has happened, and all these children of Adam are on the stage. And no rumbling, no upset, no angry emails or phone calls, just applause, 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 and more tickets sold for following evening events. I give you that little flashback to my time at Box Elder because we need to be conscientious and aware that no matter where you end up on the planet, you can trace that cultural stories and origins back, and those stories will be very, very similar. Speaking of origin stories and musicals, anyone happen to know what was Ridgeline High School's first musical? It was The Addams Family, November 2016. And the first Ridgeline High School play, those of you wondering the difference between a musical and a play is something where the action unfolds in front of you, and there seems to be very little synchronized singing and dancing, perfect choreography. But the Ridgeline High School first play was Legend of the Riverhawk. It's an original play by Sarah Hall Lynch, Ridgeline's very own theater director. And this was a play where she gave our wonderful mascot of the Riverhawk a backstory and how it related to the early pioneers within the city of Millville. So, from Cronus and Rhea, we have the three daughters of Hestia, Demeter, Hera, and three sons, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Zeus contested his father Cronus for preeminence, defeated him, and became the root of the Olympian mythology most familiar to modern times, since earlier deities would eventually fade. The remaining Titans, from their stronghold on Mount Osiris, challenged the Olympians, and after a mighty battle lost to Zeus. One Titan, Atlas, was condemned to eternity to support either the earth or the heavens. Ooh. What a choice. Would you choose to support the earth or the heavens? I think the earth was a much more solid choice than all of the celestial heavens. Another, Prometheus, stayed neutral and was awarded admittance to Olympus. Then the giants revolted, but prophecy had been that only a mortal could defeat them. This mortal was Hercules, acting in league with Zeus. Thus, the supreme deity of Greek mythology moved from a female to a male, and that explains what's wrong with the world. Oh, just mine said that? Oh, I'm just kidding. Prometheus formed mankind with clay, and Athena breathed life into it as all previous mortals had been destroyed in a deluge. It's very similar to how Children of Eden Act 1 begins. Zeus, unhappy with this insubordination by Prometheus, ordered the creation of a female of dazzling beauty, whose name was Supersmith. All right, fine, it was Pandora. Beautiful but treacherous, Pandora was sent into the human race with a great vase incorrectly called Pandora's box. The great vase contained all the human afflictions, and when opened, would spread over all the earth. There is also another flood legend here, in which Zeus elects to eliminate the human race with torrential rains, but mankind survives by floating in an ark for 9 days and 9 nights. Act 2 of Children of Eden, but for 40 days and nights. Meanwhile, Zeus ordered Prometheus, bound by chains to Mount Caucasus, to be tortured by a devouring eagle for either 30 or 30,000 years, after which he was rescued by Hercules. Now let's just think about this for a moment. We all have stress in our lives, there's no doubt about that. If you've experienced the year 2020 on this planet, we definitely have stress. But I don't think we quite are at the level of Prometheus level stress, Promethean. Imagine year 29, day 364, hour 23:59 minutes, and wondering, is that eagle going to come and devour you for the last time? Or is that really just the beginning of your 30,000 year sentence? That's Promethean level stress. And admittedly, 2020 has brought some of us close to Promethean level stress. The pantheon on Olympus thus contains 12 major gods. 6 are male, Zeus, Poseidon, Ares, Hephaestus, Hermes, and Apollo. 6 are female, Hera, Hestia, Aphrodite, Demeter, Athena, and Artemis. Hades, although a brother of Zeus, did not frequent Olympus, remaining in the underworld. Beneath the 12 were a variety of immortal subalterns with familiar names such as Persephone, Helios, Ganymede, Eos, the Muses, Graces, and assorted others. On Olympus, Zeus had 3 wives and numerous consorts. From these unions came semi-mortals named Minos, Perseus, Dionysus, Pan, and others. Thank you to Paul Hartman for publishing this simplified Greek mythology.